Hello, everybody. This is Rachel D. Adams, as I'm known as an author, or just Rach, if you want to call me that. I'm here because I kept seeing all these wonderful videos by my friends, always hashtagged with hashtag anime taught me. And I've never been one to say that I'm an anime fan. I actually have several things that I don't like about anime. And so, when you're used to being around conventions and people are so, knowledgeable about different animes and the different types of animes and everything like that, you kind of feel overwhelmed and you're like, well, I guess I'm really not a fan then because I don't know a lot of that kind of stuff. However, I believe that anime has still taught me a thing or two, and maybe I can admit to being a fan, just not as rabid as some other people. So I came up with my own list, and I did do an outline like a good person, that actually plans things out. So I will be looking down a little bit for my outline so I don't mess up too bad. But I wanted to share the 5 things anime taught me about writing characters. My video might be different from others who have submitted. You see, I'm not an anime fan, not like most, but I do have some taboo favorites, some things that I enjoy that maybe somebody else doesn't. I was introduced to anime through after hours viewing. So, the first thing I remember seeing that was an actual anime was Vampire Hunter D. And if those of you who are anime fans remember, it's like from the 1980s, and it's one of the earlier set. It was very detailed. It caught my attention because of the art detail, because I was used to just seeing comics or cartoons up until that point. It is an adult uh, oriented anime, which is fine. But yeah, it kind of drew me in. But after that, I didn't really watch anymore. It wasn't around. It wasn't until other people pointed out specific animes that I might like that I tried them out. So I just wanted to explain why I'm kind of picky about them. I really am not a fan of the squealy, high pitched female characters, especially when they're airheaded and they're the damsel in distress types. So I stay away from those. I will watch an anime and even be interested in it. And as soon as a character starts doing that, I'm like, nah, bye. I'm done. So that is the type of person that you will not find in any of my writing, because I guess that could be a bonus. Hashtag anime taught me about writing characters. Um, I don't like those kind of characters, therefore, I'm not going to write. My son introduced me to Wolf's Rain in the early 2000s. Then I found Full Metal Alchemist. I watched some of Naruto. I could not deal with Dragon Ball Z. I know a lot of the characters in Dragon Ball Z, but as soon as a fight scene comes up, I'm done. Because to me, they sound like they're constipated. Let me be honest. And I know they've got lots of fans. I know it's a huge hit, but still, it's just not for me. So someone suggested Fruits Basket. I was skeptical, but they told me that it was based on the mythology surrounding the legends of the zodiac, the Chinese zodiac in specific. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. And I admit, I fell in love with it. There are specific characters in that just got me. So, so I'm just going to go through the 5 things that anime taught me about writing characters. First, a side character can be just as important as someone presented to us as the main character. Sometimes the side character winds up becoming the main character. Or at the very least, they evoke the emotions in the audience that help them become more and more invested in the story. And sometimes the characters are not the villain and they're not the hero. There's someone in between. There's someone that kind of sees outside the box. Alphonse Elric in Full Metal Alchemist, Shigure Sama in Fruits Basket. They've got great lines. They've got great insight, sage knowledge when you're needing it. But they're not really perceived as the hero or the main protagonist. And I've kept with that in a lot of my writing, even as a dungeon master. Every character has their best moments, and I keep that in mind. Second, don't make your characters overly dramatic all the time. One of those pet peeves that I mentioned, the over dramatic stuff, the high pitched voice for a lot of the women and girls. I've literally forced my husband to use headphones when he's watching these. Let's see. Oh, and it reminds me that while I'm involved in writing scenes, I should be careful not to go overboard with them, to calm down on some of the melodramatics, men or women. It can be either. A sprinkling of this, but if the scene reminds me of when I'm watching anime and it's overly melodramatic, I kind of go back over it and try to figure out, do I really want this here or do I want it somewhere else? Third, on the flip side of number 2, is that you have to have enough drama to keep the audience engaged. They need to give a damn about your characters and their struggles. And there's got to be some emotion given. What might not be very important to another character may cause this character to have a conniption fit about it. Or they may cry, and it may be an unexpected situation. It could be a tough guy, and then all of a sudden they're crying. It draws people in and it gives that character depth. So, for that example, I would guess being touched or hugged when it comes to most of the Soma family, it's not, it's a big deal, but it's not as big a deal as it is with a specific character in the Soma family. And there's a good reason for that. But it's the drama that ensues when it happens that really makes you go, wait, why is this character so much different than the others? Fourth, no character has to be predictable. Even the most conservative minded audience might be swayed into enjoying a story about a relationship when it's unpredictable. The amount of relationship stories available in anime, wow. You know, growing up, I was always taught that the Japanese culture was very conservative, but I tell you what, anime is not conservative at all. They don't hold back when it comes to this. And just when you think you're about to know what's going to happen, watch out. There's usually a twist or a turn somewhere in there. Someone messes up, there's a misunderstanding, there's drama. The person that they had a crush on and everybody's been warning them about turns into a literal monster, you know, um, things like that. So, what happens next? You're sucked into it. And that's what is so cool about anime, and also a good lesson for writers. Fifth and last, your audience will love your characters, period. They decide who their favorite character is, not you. It doesn't matter what you do. They're going to make the decision. They're going to focus on a character that they love. And I have seen it over and over again. In anime, I went after certain characters that weren't written particularly as the main character. I was drawn to Blue and Sume over Kiba in Wolf's Rain. I was drawn to Kyo over Yuki, and turns out that was the right response. Your readers are going to do the same thing. They're going to be drawn to certain characters. I have already gotten hate mail so to speak. Not hate mail, but love mail. I'll call it love mail. Um, concerning my main character, Cineas, going after Gabriel. Why? Because the person reading had read for us before, and they loved the idea of Cineas being with Sebastian. So they're going to choose their favorite characters. And it's usually a bad boy, let me just say. It's usually a bad boy. But still, they're going to choose. Um, you know, you luckily, as independent authors, we can change things, we can push things, and even if we keep what we've got, we can also tease things. So, anyway, that is my list of 5 things that hashtag anime taught me about writing characters. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more authors talking about what anime has taught them over the years about writing and possibly collect a really nice list of anime to watch too, check out the full playlist. It's curated by Jenna O'Malley, the Soul Writer. The link will be in the description.